Skoom. All right.
Dude, just give me 5 minutes. I just want to help you real quick.
What's up, everybody? My name's Big Skoom,
This is College on the Dawn.
and this is
Skoom Speech.
Do we love people as they are, or as we continue to imagine them when they're not there?
Probably the second one. Because,
Okay.
I don't know, personally, I'm frustrated most of the time with people, man. But I know, like, you're asking in a very general sense. I don't know. My mind kind of can't let me go past the second one, though. I like the idea of people, but usually once I'm around them, I'm like, dude, this is too much.
You know, it's interesting. Check how this next question rolls right into that. Oh, kind of.
Check it out. Check it out.
If joy can exist without physical presence, what role does reality play in our emotional lives?
In our emotional lives,
The reason why those connect was kind of like what you were just saying. It's like,
the idea of their presence is better than their actually physically being present.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that kind of goes back. Remember a few episodes ago I mentioned it. I was like, sometimes, or I don't know, I view it as like the thought is better than the reality or something like that. I don't remember exactly. It was a while ago now, but that was a good question. But I know that you ended up not liking my answer so very much. And then you were like, oh, there's no way. Because, it's something to do with like, if you imagine it enough, is that now reality or something like that? I'm trying to remember how you worded it, but that's kind of why I go into it like that, because of these two questions here.
I mean, that's good. I like that you're pushing back. Even just hearing that, I guess that was my own question, but even just rebuttaling my own question, it's like, dude, reality has so much to do with your feelings and your emotions. It's like whatever I'm doing and trying to imagine, blah blah blah. But what's real, what feels real, is how I feel about what I'm trying to imagine.
Yeah. Sheesh, that's deep, right?
Yeah, it's like I could try a ketoing and trying all this, whatever imagination and all this hope or all this whatever. But if I feel a certain way about it, it doesn't matter. How I feel is gonna just get rid of all the imagination and all the cognitive thoughts. It's just gonna trump it all. None of it will mean
Yeah.
anything.
Which is why it's most important to just appreciate everything. Oh,
I like that. I like that. It's interesting that we're kind of tinging on this because all these questions are kind of like this.
okay, fire. I think it's a good thing. Man,
Is the pain of missing someone evidence of connection or of attachment to an internal image?
dang, probably the second one. Probably. Because the first part, I don't know. Maybe I answered too quickly. I feel like it's the second part though. Once you boil everything away, it's something to do with yourself and how you look or act or feel when that person's around you, kind of thing.
Yeah, man, just where my mind went is, people be like, oh, you're projecting onto me or you're projecting this or your feelings. Like, how people say that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like some of this question has to do with that, but it's like we have to project in order to approach something. We talked about how everything off camera, we were talking about like combinatorially explosive, like there's just too much numbers and equations and algorithms of every single thing to freaking go through them all to figure out the right thing.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, I have to project some sort of belief on this so I can go freaking figure out what the heck it is, man. Like if it's this infinite freaking possibility. It's like,
Right.
go talk to someone like that, and you're scared of them, right?
Right. Which is why it's also beautiful too, because here we are again. It brings us back to a few episodes ago where we were talking about is it wise? Is it showing wisdom to just be silent or something like that? Remember that question?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I think even back then my answer was no, because it could just be ignorance if you're not saying anything at all, just because you're not willing to put those feelers out there and see what comes back, right? See what's real and exists. And if somebody else agrees with it or doesn't, then they're going to posit something that, is now going to change the way maybe you even view it. So yeah, I agree with that. And I don't know. I don't know if it goes back to what I said, but my answer was the latter, and I think I still stand on that.
I recently learned something really good today, and let's see what you have to think about it.
All right.
With our language that we use, we always talk about how, like, what you know, what you feel, what you've acted changes, like, whatever, the whole frame, everything you see, like all your values, it changes everything. So, check this out, what I heard today. Even perception, I don't know how to word it, but it was basically like all perception or any perception requires belief. Or
Yeah.
you can't see without belief or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think it was also on Skoom Speech. We also discussed what belief is. And oh, that's what it was. Remember, we always say we all believe in everything, or we believe in what we think. Dang, how do we word that? But I like what you said. I don't even remember how he said that before, but yeah, we all believe stuff. Oh yeah, it's like we all believe stuff, but it's like we all everything we believe after putting it through tests, it's all comes back as like null and void. So I believe it at all, kind of thing. I
It's
probably butchered the ideology, but we've go back a few episodes. Trust me, we killed it.
let's see. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but let's see you work through it. You definitely seem to agree with that quote about whatever it was. All perception requires belief or whatever. Why is that true?
Okay, okay.
It's gonna you're gonna struggle, but let's see.
Heck
It's
yeah,
tough.
heck yeah, I'm gonna struggle. That's
Yeah,
high.
it's
That's
tough.
high. That's high level right there.
It
I'm not
is,
gonna
dude. It's
lie.
tough.
And I haven't been studying anything of this realm recently. I've just been studying my own personal whatevers. So let's see here. Catching me way off guard with it, but I respect it. Let's see. So I mentally break this down into a physical action. If you didn't believe that, let's say, I like to give it something concrete. So let's say the Eiffel Tower. If you never believed the Eiffel Tower was achievable, then why even start, kind of thing? So this is where my mind went first, because I'm someone that believes in action. If you believe in action, then it must be immediate. So you wouldn't even believe in whatever it is. You wouldn't believe that the sandwich that you're about to eat for lunch is obtainable if you didn't feel like it was obtainable. Does that make any sense here? How I'm trying to word this?
I definitely got the Eiffel Tower one. Basically, what you were saying is, imagine you were talking about before it was built, but if you didn't believe that the Eiffel Tower could be built, then you never could have seen the vision of the actual finished Eiffel Tower as you're like before it was built or as you were building it.
I agree. So you have to believe something's achievable before you can even start to put down the sidewalk, I like to call it, right? The stepping stones of how to then get to the outcome. So yeah, belief is something that's very large for us as humans to achieve anything. Do you want to say the quote one more time to the best of your ability from what you can remember you said?
Yeah, because what you said was right and it's impeccable. And how I understand this quote, it's like all perception. It's all perception,
Mm.
which makes it like a metaphysical claim. And it was basically like you can't see without belief, or or seeing requires belief, or something like that.
Mm, mm. You couldn't even put it inside of a lens, right? If first belief wasn't there.
Do you remember our last talk? You kept hinting at something or like a main category, and I was like championing it. I was just like over the moon, like talking about how cool and great and how proud I was to hear how much you kept bringing things back to that. Do you remember what it was?
No way. No way. I didn't rewatch our last episode. I'm not gonna hold you.
It was action, buddy. It was action.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
So
That's so easy for me to slip my mind because yeah, I run on that. I tell people that all the time. I was actually just talking to a family member earlier today, and I was telling, dude, if you're not making action, buddy, then dude, no wonder why the coach doesn't ask you to play.
it's a good point. And I think that's where like metaphysically why like in some sense why it's true, because it's like if you believing in something or belief, you show belief by acting, right? In some sense, or like do an act or action.
Yeah, immediately.
So it's like, yeah, if I want to see something, like I have to have belief, whatever, that it's there, or
Whether
like you said.
whether yeah, whether to even begin to test it out or not, right? It was something that we had also talked about not too long ago of if you're gonna forego this task, if you will, say it was building a business or anything, right? And if you put down all the brainstorm on paper and then oh, we were talking about time, right? Because I was trying to say time is debt. And you were like, no, I hate that kind of thing. But it's the same thing. It's like you don't ever know if you're not willing to A, believe it's possible and attainable, and then build the building blocks of all of that. And if you really believe in it, then the action should be immediate.
Yeah, I agree. There's no other way to show you believe something than acting quick. And it's interesting. Another reason why that quote's true is it's so weird, but and I just brought it up, but like that combinatorial explosiveness. It's like everything, dude, has so many unlimited whatever options, variables, aspects. So it's like,
Outcomes. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like in order for me to like look at one thing, I have to like ignore all the other stuff. So I'm like showing belief in the one thing by like perceiving it, by like looking at it.
Dude, and it goes into everything. If it's changing the way you look, right? Hitting the gym, diets, things like this, the only way to say, I believe I can achieve that, right? The way I look, let's just keep it simple. Something that every human being can obtain is changing the way they look. Maybe not their literal skull appearance and stuff like this, but well, these days you can. Jeez. But I'm talking about being healthy, right? Everything you put into your body, the way you exercise and train and think, you believe that that's achievable. So you put in all the steps and the work to achieve what you want to. And boom, in 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years, all that work shows to pay off. And it wasn't something that you had to dedicate usually a whole bunch of money or time into. It's just focusing on what you eat and then doing 1,000 push-ups a day. Mike Tyson did it when he was boxing. That's all he did is mad push-ups, calisthenic work.
Well, it's interesting. Today I just found out that there's like two different kinds of belief. And what we get caught up now in like the modern world is like the first one. So one is like belief that, and it's like a proposition, like I propose, like I believe that this is true. I propose it with my mouth and my brain. And then there's like believe in. And
Mm,
I'm still trying to like work or belief in. I'm trying to still like or learn exactly what those two things mean.
yeah,
But I believe that is so it's like tyrannized our entire language, our entire freaking culture. Like
yeah.
that's all people think it is. It's like, oh, I said it, I believe that. Boom. But belief in obviously has to do with action and just the fact that you're like forgoing, right? Combinatorial explosiveness again. I'm forgoing the unlimited amount of variables around me and I'm choosing to act this one. It's like, what's more believable than, like, what do I have more belief than that? I just forego millions and millions of options and ideas and blah 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 for this one. It's like, so that's what I believe. How I act is how I believe, man.
Yeah, that's fire. Believe in yourself, right? And then believe that, which could be what we talk about is all of those millions of outcomes, right?
Well, you just made me think of something because now it's
You
like a contradiction. Because it's like if
right,
I,
right, right. You so you see what I'm trying to say there, but I don't know how to full circle this. It's something that you mention all the time. But
well, I
carry on.
don't
I
know
didn't
what
mean to cut you off.
I don't know what you're saying because what I heard from you was, and it's just a contradiction. It's nothing you did, but if I believe in myself, that's a proposition. I believe that I believe in myself. So it's like that's still a proposition. So it's like it's like a contradiction. It's like,
I think, well, no. So, okay, maybe this is my bad part of understanding English language very well. So, believe in yourself means you on your own will take control of things to get an outcome that you personally set your mind to, that you don't need other people to help you do things, right? Like going back to the gym idea. You focus on your diet, you focus on how often you actually exercise and put in the real work, right? Believe in myself could also be I study hard enough to achieve an intelligence of this one thing I want to grasp and achieve. And that's something you can also do on your own. Believe that hard work pays off. I don't I don't always believe that. That comes to a million different outcomes. That's what I mean. That's what I was trying to say was whenever with one of those things where you were talking about earlier about how everything has a million outcomes and no wonder why it's so difficult, or it's amazing that we all come to the same agreement on most things. It was me weighing those two scales, basically was the comparison of I believe in myself so I can achieve these things alone. I don't need a 1,000-man army or a whole bunch of other people to believe it with me. And then the belief that something is going to be true or an outcome or something, we agree that there's nothing that's 100% true because there's so many different percentages and variables of things. That's what I was trying to say.
it's interesting because you just helped me out a lot, but it was all still obvious. But I got lost in my own head. But yeah, I guess what you helped me learn was when it's belief in, like, one, none of that requires any words. Hence
Mm,
why it's not believe that or propositional. Because I don't.
mm.
It's what it is. It's like a mode of being. It's like a mode. It's like, all right, I'm in the mode of believing in me, not propositionally, but believing in me, which is like all the stuff you named. So there was that, and then there was another thing you said too, but can't remember. But anyways, let me ask my next question. But that was good though. You helped me out. What exactly continues to exist in a relationship when the other person is not there?
It's the idea of that person. Then you already answered. You asked this in like the second question. It's the
I don't
idea
know.
of that feeling that you get while they're there versus when they're not there. It's the feeling of it's probably delusion. It's probably delusion. It's like, oh man, whenever they return or get back, because you say when they're not there, which means absence of, which means at some point they're going to come back, or unless if you're meaning very morbidly here that they're gone and dead forever. But usually, my brain immediately goes to they'll return at some point, and what is still there is what you're holding on to is the idea of or the emotion of that you receive from them while they are there, and usually it's even exacerbated, like it's even more amped up in your head. When they return, I have these high expectations of we're going to talk about how it was while they were gone and what are we going to do together next, things like that. So that I don't know, that's where my mind went with that. Maybe way off topic, I don't know, that's just what I thought it was all delusion.
Well, it's
Self
crazy because
like self self, I don't know what the heck you would call it. I wouldn't say denial, but I don't know. Not sure what the word would be.
I don't know what it is, but for some reason, for the second time, I'm like feeling all like dumbfounded because it's like, geez, do we never really have real like relationships with people, and it's all just like the idea of what we think of who that person is, and all this. Like, it's just that ideal or that idea.
Probably. It probably really is as if you boil away everything, that's probably what it is. It's how this person, how I view myself when I'm around this person, if I enjoy it or not, or else you wouldn't put yourself in that company. And probably somewhere inside of all of that. I don't know.
It's
I
interesting.
agree though.
It's interesting how you are getting good, Ben. Like, you're able to just cut through all the BS. Because I'm about to ask this next question, but it's still going to be rooted in that word that you said, that you posited, that cuts through all the BS. But I won't say it because I want to see if you go to it again. Can absence intensify connection more than presence? And if so, why?
I think yes, because there are certain conversations that we have with certain people in our life. I know like everyone in my life personally, very intimately. And a lot of my conversations freaking weave in and out of each other. Like, I don't have a whole bunch of different versions of myself that are just floating around, right? So I think yes, and it's because in their absence, we're thinking about what we would discuss with that person, what the next time we do, assuming they're not dead and gone forever, right? Which means there will be another point in time where we come together again, and like as you and I do, we learn things individually and then come together and talk about them individually, being not even most of the time the same topic at all. You know, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I haven't been studying psychology or even really stoicism in like the last, I want to say about the last month or so, self-awareness studies and anything like that. I've been deep off on these mountains and stuff like that recently. So, but that doesn't take away the fact that I personally still come across questions have me to the degree to where whatever they slam into the side of my head like a freaking Mack truck, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask someone else's question, and let it be you or someone else in my family or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it has to do with the emotional attachment with that person inside their absence. Is I understand the way that they think and my relationship I built with them and how this intertwines even on my present day individually, and then what it can tie into when I finally rejoin with that person. I don't know if I answered your question, but I'm sorry.
Well, it's interesting because you did in the middle, and that's when I was talking about cutting through the BS. Because and humans are so weird, but you probably didn't even notice, but you basically posited a meta truth before this.
Obviously, I didn't. If I said I don't know if I answered your question, I felt like I just rambled.
Well, that's why I call humans weird, and I'll explain also what I mean by that. But you did before this question, and then you kind of touched on it again. So I'll use your language that you just used before this question, and then you'll see what I mean. So the question, can absence intensify connection more than presence? And if so, why? In your language, the answer is yes. And the reason why is because they're missing their ideal or their idea of that person.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
So and that's why when you first said that in the way that you did, it kind of like hit me, and I'm like, wow, like you could just say that about any like all. It's like a meta truth, like all relationships with all people. It's always the ideal. It's never truly in contact with that person, like when they're not around. You're just thinking you have the idea of them, that idea of them, your memory of them, which is all based on their ideal and the idea, and that's all you have when they're not around.
Yep, exactly. I agree with that. Obviously, if I gave a really long rant about it, I don't know if you'd consider that a rant, but
And then another reason why people are so weird, and I notice this a lot now, but let's say I'm talking about something and you basically like confirm what I just talked about. And then people will be like, no, I didn't mean that. And then go on to explain exactly what you just said that I was saying that I also was saying before you. Do you know what I mean by that?
yeah, it's almost like people enjoy talking too much.
It's so weird, dude. I don't get it, but it happens like it's almost like any opportunity it can happen, it happens. Like let's say I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like thinking of cheese pizza, I want to get some cheese pizza. And then you're like, wait, are you saying you want cheese pizza? And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I want like any sort of pizza. Well, like I basically just like say the same thing. Like it's so weird, dude.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I don't know if it's like we feel a need to like be defensive all the time or something, but like anytime that happens, people are like, no, I'm not saying that. And then they'll say
Yeah,
exactly that.
I agree. I bet I could go back to like episode 12 of us, and I probably used to do it all the time.
Dude, no, if it's just like man, it's like any opportunity, or like, or especially when it's like it's almost like a little confrontational or whatever. If I'm like, if you're like, oh, like whatever, like you so or like people, here's a good one. Like, let's say someone's like being rude or loud at the store, right?
All right.
And like before we like interrupt and say something, we'll be like, hey, I'm not saying that you're being too loud. And then we'll go ahead and say that they're being too loud. Like things like that. It's so weird. Like, no, I'm not saying this. And then they go in and say exactly that.
Like they try to soften the blow before they give him the freaking knockout punch.
Yeah, dude, humans are so weird, dude. And we do it all the time in every situation possible that it can happen. Like we always do that. It's so weird.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Now that you say that to me, I'm gonna be paying attention to it.
And it's like on a spectrum, like, you know, like that extreme end is like when I have something confrontational to say, I'll like say, hey, no, I'm not saying this at all. Like you're a great person, but you're just not that great of a person. Like, dude, humans are mad weird, dude. It's so weird.
And overall, you're a great human, but right now, you're not being the best human.
And then in like really like small ways, like the pizza analogy or whatever, like it's just
Yeah.
like it's so weird, dude. I don't get it. But anyways, all right. So Skoom Speech, you want to bring this back up? If joy can exist without physical presence, what role does reality play in our emotional lives? Let's try to like abstract that and take that to like, I don't know, not love and relationship, but like other things.
If joy is what?
If joy can exist without physical presence, what role does reality play in our emotional lives? Or
Mm,
or we could play with it like let's take it to the negative.
okay.
If if pain can exist without physical presence, what role does reality play in our emotional lives?
Well, it's interesting because these are both. Wait, say the second half of the question again. What reality does what does pain have to do with our reality lives?
Well, I think I just figured out I just figured out the answer myself, and it's actually a really simple one. I'll read it and I'll tell you the answer because the answer is actually really simple.
Yeah, I think so too. Say it again. I'm hung up on the second part real quick.
I'm gonna hold the answer and let's see what you say.
Well,
If
only ask the second half. It doesn't matter what the emotion is. Just say the word emotion. It doesn't matter what it is.
what role does reality play in our emotional lives?
Yeah, none. Well, in our emotional life, yeah, none.
So where's the emotion then? See, it's an easy question actually. Where's the
Yeah,
emotion then?
dude. I mean, if you're acting stoically, then emotion should be something that you freaking conquer on its own. It's like, dude, what? I'm happy all the time because I said so. You know what I'm saying? I'm always comfortable wherever I go because I said so. You
Yeah,
know?
I got to the
Yeah.
same answer too. It's all in
Yeah.
our head.
Yeah. Yup. It's a mad
Yeah.
stoic answer. And it's just like, dude, Marcus would be like, what? You guys really asked that? Does it
Yeah.
matter? That's what he was saying to me. Like, this matters? We
Now, and
we
I
blew
said
up over the
this.
simplest stuff too. It's like you crack your cell phone screen and then your whole day is ruined. It's like, dude, really? You drop your sandwich and your day is over. Like fasting is easier anyway.
And I've been asking this question more lately, and I asked it to you. I don't remember exactly when, but you know how we just said everything's all in our heads, right?
Hmm.
And what we also kind of said in that sentence is, in some sense, reality doesn't play really any role in that, or in this,
Hmm.
or in that, or whatever.
Hmm.
And again, I'll repeat it. And since it's all in our heads, doesn't it mean that, like, what I'm trying to ask is, like, doesn't that mean, like, I don't know, like reality is only happening to serve our brain or something like that, or our consciousness or something like that?
Hmm. I agree. Let's simplify this just a little bit. You you create your day. What is your day? Your day is a bunch of small individual tasks, right? And out of all those small individual tasks, are you supposed to have an emotion to any of them? Probably not. They have to get done and achieved either way. You have to eat
Well,
food to survive. You have to go to work. You gotta, there's and it's a small stepping stones that go all through it. But all of those things you shouldn't. I say you shouldn't, but I'm gonna say it. As extreme as it sounds, you shouldn't have an emotion towards any of those things. You have to do those tasks no matter what. I mean, our boy Andrew says all the time, like push-ups got to get done. Doesn't matter if you're sad, doesn't matter if you're excited, amped up or tired. Push-ups got to get done. That's a task. Doesn't matter how you feel about it.
I agree with you, and I also though wasn't asking that question because after you said that, like your mind goes to why, why do these things need to be done? So there's that. But also, what I was asking, and it seems dumb and cliche. I don't know. Maybe we're getting stupider. I don't know. But what I was asking was all those little tasks that you mentioned.
Yes.
Are those tasks only just happening like for me to do them or something like that, or like for my brain to like do them or something like that?
Possibly, but ask this as well. Remember a few episodes ago, you said, is boredom a problem to be solved? And I said, absolutely. So if you aren't doing any tasks at all, what is inevitably going to happen? If I know Monday, I do nothing at all. Tuesday, I do nothing at all. By Wednesday, I'm freaking bored and I want to do something. So those tasks are there because boredom is a problem to be solved.
I have a
There's,
crazy question for you.
yeah,
I agree.
of
Huge do I
course.
agree.
Because I
Kierkegaard's.
simplified it to the sense of what would happen would be you would be doomed, and yes, doomed to boredom if you had nothing at all to do. Which is why when you feel sad and lost or whatever, you do what we're all told to do is pick up more what responsibilities? Sure. You pick up more tasks to do. You pick up a task to do for the neighbor because she's a widow and she has to get milk in her house somehow. So you pick up a task. You pick up her milk and carry it for her. Her laundry basket's too heavy. She needs to borrow something. You just made yourself worth it to her. Your life now means something.
I agree 1,000%. And Kierkegaard, the famous philosopher, he said that like boredom's the root of all evil. But
I believe it, dude.
yeah, but this my crazy question is this, and I don't know, it sounds so crazy to say, but react to it how you want. And it's a general question, but is reality here to serve us?
That's
That
fire.
sounds wrong though, right?
That's fire. Israel. Yeah,
Well, it sounds
yeah,
like
I know,
satanic
but
though.
is it not? Because well,
Well, it
I
is
don't know.
satanic.
I don't know if it sounds demonic. I don't think I agree with that much. But
That's what Satanists believe, right? I'm pretty sure.
mm,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I I'm not too well versed with that. I just know that if someone smites you, smash them, and I love that.
Yeah, I think Satanists are like we're all our own gods, and like yeah, everything's here to serve. We're our own gods or whatever. I think that's what they
Oh, so
believe.
everything's here to serve us.
Yeah,
But
but
I don't know.
Cognitively, I don't know. It's probably a dangerous way to think. So yeah, I guess we probably shouldn't think like that. But I was just thinking that because it's like if all everything's in my head and all processed through my head, it's like do the things only happen so my head can see them?
Yeah.
Or it's like what
You
they
know
say about
what's
stars too, right? Don't they say like that star? They say this, dude. They say this, and I'm not. I don't really believe in outer space. Well, I don't, but they say this, dude. I've heard this from like Neil deGrasse Tyson, the
scientists?
NASA dude.
Okay.
Like you'll see a star, and they'll be like he basically was like, oh, like that star is like 5 million light years away, and actually, no, Jordan Peterson said this. He was like quoting someone else, but like that star is like 5 million light years away, and it came 5 million light years ago. And if you weren't in this exact moment to see that star, that light wouldn't be here, or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah, and like I forgot what they're called. I don't even think it's an astronologist. Like someone even higher than that, he was quoting to be fact. So it's like, dude, isn't everything just serving us now? Like literally,
Yeah.
that's like actual science. They say
All of
if you weren't here, that light wouldn't have been there.
all of that to be said, just for me to ask, who cares? Like I don't know. That might sound like I don't know how it might sound, but super some like what is that? Dismissive or like, dude, who cares, right? Like, but
No, it's
I
huge,
don't
T.
know. I don't know
It's
why.
huge,
Tell
T.
me
It's
why that
huge.
matters. Why does that
Here's why it
matter?
matters. Here's why it matters, and this is how our brains work.
Okay.
So the reason why it matters is this: if you say "who cares" to that, then eventually human logic says who cares to doing the push-ups, to being a
Oh
good
yeah.
person, to helping out my neighbor,
Then
to
it's
not
just
hurting
nihilistic.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Nothing matters. That like don't matter, they don't matter, she doesn't matter, nothing freaking matters. My
I,
responsibilities don't matter.
okay. But what in the world would that star 5 million light years away? Like, if I understand that all of my responsibilities and stuff on my Tuesday matter just as much as they matter on my Thursday, why does that star in the 5 million miles away matter? It doesn't give me solar energy. It doesn't give me freaking water to drink tomorrow. I don't get it.
Well, I agree. I agree on some level that it doesn't matter, but on another level, it does matter because I mean, here's how about this? Here, boom. The reason why you say it doesn't matter is because it's so far, right?
Sure. It just doesn't affect me personally, I guess, right?
It's so far, but that same whatever you call it, logic, logos of that fact and whatever, can't that be happening in this very room right now?
Yeah.
Or across your street? Could the
Down the
things
road.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, could the things that are close to you only be happening? I don't know. Now it sounds stupid for you to be there to see it or whatever. I don't know. I don't even get, but yeah, I'm sure you get what I mean in that somewhere.
Yeah, I do. And you know what's interesting? Would it only be happening? I like what you said there. Would it only be happening for you to see it? Is that the same reason why we see a rainbow where we are here instead of somewhere in Florida? I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
I don't even know what you mean by that.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, so if I could see this, let's call it the North Star. I like to label things something that everyone, because one star in the sky along billions of other stars in the sky, right? Let's call it the North Star. Does the North Star only exist for me to see it right now, just as equal as a rainbow on a blue sky day exists just for me to see it now versus someone on the other side of my state that didn't see the rainbow? I don't know how one could mean something and the other one doesn't mean something.
I mean, I get this is pretty dangerous thinking because it puts you into this like juxtaposition where it's like, all right, like you said, that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Everything like nihilism
Yep.
or like some other sort of like something opposite that's positive. So I don't know. It's probably not good to think like this. I guess
It could
this is
definitely
where
get dangerous quickly because, yeah, before you know it, you're going to be having a conversation of when it's okay to hurt people and when it's okay to eat people, right? I don't know. Just thinking here. Obviously, I disagree with both, obviously, but I can't
you know
see
what
how one could
I
lead into that.
wonder.
What?
I wonder if you disagree with both because for some small little subconscious whatever, you do think that star matters.
Dude, I'm never going to leave the planet's floor, this planet's floor, Earth's surface.
So you're saying no. So you're saying no, that the star doesn't matter. What about? I know you
I don't,
believe that, but what do you
I,
believe in?
I believe that God matters. I don't know. I believe in myself to wake up and do my tasks on time because of the ability that God gave me to do.
Now I'm wondering.
But if that star blew up, I guess then it matters because it might wipe out my planet too. Fudge. My life is gone and all my homies are dead.
Geez, this is why everything's so combinatorially explosive. Because now I was gonna ask, do you act like you believe in that star mattering or not, or do you act like you don't believe in that star mattering or not? And then that is combinatorially
Well, nah,
explosive.
I definitely don't act like the star matters much. I mean, then again, like I said, if an asteroid hits my planet and blows us apart like the dinosaurs did,
That's
I
exactly
guess.
where I was. That's exactly where I was going to
It,
bring it to.
I guess so. I guess so because anytime that NASA puts out like a crazy report, like an asteroid might be on the way, yeah, I tune in and I read how far away and how fast it's moving, how big it might be, right? Don't we all? Well, not all of
Well,
us, but we definitely act as if it matters then, right? If it is plummeting to Earth with a big rocket.
I mean, it's right in that way. And I was actually going to talk about one of the other infinite possibilities where it matters because I was just going to say, like with what you said, like, do you act like you said, if it were to blow up and kill you, like not asteroid falling, but if it just blew up and did a supernova and killed the planet, do you
Yeah.
act like do you act like every day is your last day for that fact? Like that, like I said, there's an infinite amount of facts. Like
Yeah.
asteroid,
Yeah.
that one, infinite. We can go on forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you act like that? Do you act like it's your last day because these scars could blow up and cause you a freaking supernova black hole? The answer is
I
yeah,
de-
right?
I definitely act like every day is my last day, but I can get hit by a truck. I mean, there's a million ways to die.
Exactly.
Someone could break into the store I work at and shoot everybody. You know, dang, I didn't even get to text my woman goodbye.
Exactly.
Well, I
So
guess out of all those scenarios, you probably wouldn't either.
so so in some funny sense, because we are playing with it here, but still, do you do you act like that star matters?
Yes, just as much as I think that cutting off a semi truck in traffic matters. Because I think my life matters. Because I think that I will live long enough to help some widow bring her milk into her house one day.
And I don't know if you see what we did there, but
Everything matters. So then it's the complete opposite of the nihilism. Like you said, everything matters instead of nothing matters. That star does matter. So yeah, sure. It's
yeah.
frustrating, isn't it? But it's
No,
so weird.
no, it's not weird because I don't know. I wonder if that's what Kierkegaard meant by either or. But like I said, we get put into these juxtapositions of this
Yeah.
or that, either or. Either it all matters or either none of it freaking matters. There's like you can't believe in or
Yep.
act like in the middle. You got to choose one.
Yep. And either way, I bet most of the time people act right. Because let me ask you like this.
I agree. Actually, do
Let me
I actually really agree?
right. Because let me ask like this. Sure, there might be a lot of people in prison, right? But there's a lot more people that are free. So percentage wise, we're saying more people act as if their actions matter, mean something, and all this versus the people that are uh emotionally unstable, or yeah, basically that, right? Like completely irrational, right?
Patient.
Like
No. Yeah. Both. Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So
Couldn't have said it
so
better.
yeah, so the amount of people that act like things matter is the percentage wise. Just I don't know how many people are in prison percentage wise, but I'm telling you, there's a lot more people outside of there. You know,
You couldn't.
so
You couldn't have said it better by invoking rationality. We talked about that. I guess that's like rooted in like ratio, like
yeah, yep.
ratio. So
I think ratio and rational are spelt pretty much the same for a reason. Most
no,
words are
they.
rooted in words.
Yep. 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 So it's interesting. S- I don't know. So I guess the ratio is like I guess what we talked about just that podcast. It's between emotion and logic. I guess that's the ratio.
Yeah, yep. And you know what's even more interesting too is like you like to ask people, well, how do you act if you don't believe God exists, kind of thing. You're asking people in the free world. Does that make sense? I don't know if I can
It's a
say
good.
that
Yes.
word, but
Yeah. That's great. That's
you know what I'm
great.
saying though? Yeah, like you're a proper active human in society. So, well, you don't only act properly in society because you get paid, right? Like, dude, I think there's only 8 hours out of most people's day, between 8 and 12 hours, because I know there's doctors and nurses that work about 12 hours. Between 8 and 12 hours out of your day, you're getting paid, which means there's another 12 hours potentially, if it's a 24-hour day, that you're acting rationally, correctly, and you're not getting paid there. So you can't say, "Oh, I act proper 24 hours a day, but I don't believe something out there is judging." You know what I'm saying? It just goes back into that. Well, how would you act if God didn't exist, kind of thing.
I actually heard something good today, and I had a good day. I learned a lot of stuff today,
I'm
but
happy for you, dude. That's mint.
this is a good one. And you kind of know how I conceptualize God, as in, it's certainly a symbol or a sign and a symbol and all that. But here's another one I heard that God is like, I don't know what you'd call it. He's like potential and stuff.
Oh,
He's like the future and potential. And it's like when we use free will linked with time, which also is correlated to potential, we are like working with God.
yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
And I always like to whenever people are like, "Oh, what do you think that is?" I just tell people like, I think that's every outcome of positivity, every possible outcome of positivity, and that's what I see God as. And it's like,
Which is the same thing. This is what I just
yeah,
said, right?
exactly,
It's
yeah,
potential, right?
great amounts of potential, yeah, infinite amounts of potential, and they're all positive.
And thanks to our brains, for whatever reason, like we have an integral role in that potential and making it good.
Yeah, I don't think it's for whatever reason. I think that's the gift that keeps on giving, and it's the gift that a lot of people neglect. You know,
What is?
our brain. Our brain is a gift, and a lot of people neglect it because there's so much that you can endlessly learn and act onto others, and that's the unwavering amount of potential right there. There's like,
You know what they say, and this is true, man. Someone can fact check me. I'll pull it up right now. They say there's like more neurons in our brains than there are stars in the universe.
wow.
I
I
know.
have heard that before, but it's still that still blows me away because
In
it's
one
like
brain.
I
And there's 6
know,
billion brains or 7
I
billion, I don't
know.
know.
So try to try to conceptualize that.
I guess it's kind of easy not conceptualizing it at all, but kind of kind of rationalizing it because it's like basically in some sense that's saying there's more potential in our head than there is potential in I don't know outer space or in space or something.
Dude, there's more potential in your head. There are germs floating around your face right now.
Yeah,
After someone with freaking COVID-19 sneezes.
exactly.
We're
So
not moderated yet. I can say that word.
yeah, exactly. Cool. You ready to wrap up, Big T?
Yeah, brother, dude. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in on this. I always really enjoy doing these, man.
Yes, sir. We'll see you all next Thursday at 9 a.m. Appreciate it.